A different gospel, introducing Ang Tipan. Ang Tipan, a controversial Tagalog scriptural text, claims a unique and provocative clarification of God and creation. Departing from traditional Christian theology, Ang Tipan, the treaty, shows a dualistic view of the divine, knowing that there are two principles with opposing natures. This radical viewpoint challenges conventional cognitions of God, urging readers to check and challenge long-held beliefs and hug a new cognition of faith and salvation. Central to the narrative of Ang Tipan is the concept of duality. The text posits the existence of two powerful beings, the MASAMÄNG-MAYLALÁNG, evil creator, often identified with the Yahweh of the Old Testament, and the MABUTING-BATHALÀ, good God, revealed through Ísu-Krestos, Jesus Christ. This stark division forms the foundation of the text's theological framework, shaping its interpretation of Scripture and its vision of spiritual liberation. The concept of a dualism is not entirely new. Similar ideas can be found in various Gnostic traditions and ancient mythologies. However, Ang Tipan presents this duality within a distinctly Philippine context, weaving together native faiths, colonial influences, and a radical clarification of Christian Scripture. By introducing this dualistic framework, Ang Tipan challenges readers to confront the complexities of good and evil, creation and redemption, law and grace. It invites us to look beyond traditional interpretations of the Bible and study in a deeper, more nuanced exploration of the divine. The shadow of creation, Yahweh as the evil creator. In the cosmology of Ang Tipan, Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, is shown as a flawed and imperfect being. He is the MASAMÄNG-MAYLALÁNG, the evil creator, responsible for the material world and its inherent suffering. Yahweh is portrayed as a jealous and vengeful deity, demanding obedience and punishing transgression with unwavering severity. His reign is one of law, characterized by strict rules and harsh consequences. The text attributes the imperfections and injustices of the world to Yahweh's flawed creation. Natural disasters, diseases, and human cruelty are seen as evidence of his limitations and malevolence. Ang Tipan suggests that Yahweh, blinded by his own power, trapped humanity in a cycle of suffering and sin. Yahweh's dominion is further characterized by his emphasis on ritual and sacrifice. The elaborate laws and ceremonies outlined in the Old Testament are interpreted as attempts to appease his anger and secure his favor. However, Ang Tipan argues that these outward displays of piety are ultimately meaningless, failing to address the root cause of human suffering, our separation from the true God. By casting Yahweh as the evil creator, Ang Tipan challenges the traditional Christian cognition of God as an all-loving and benevolent Father. It suggests that the God of the Old Testament is a lesser deity, a flawed creator whose reign is marked by suffering and spiritual darkness. This radical reinterpretation lays the groundwork for the text's central message of hope and liberation through the true God, revealed through Ísu-Krestos. Abba, Ama, unveiling the true God. In stark contrast to the wrathful Yahweh, Ang Tipan presents a radically different image of the true God, referred to as Abba, Ama. This term, meaning father in Tagalog, evokes a sense of nurturing, unconditional love and encompassing compassion. Unlike Yahweh, who is distant and demanding, Abba, Ama is portrayed as being intimately involved in the lives of humanity, offering guidance, solace, and ultimately, liberation. Abba, Ama is not bound by the limitations of the material world created by Yahweh. This true God represents a higher spiritual realm, one of pure love, wisdom, and enlightenment. Abba, Ama's essence is not defined by law or punishment, but by grace and forgiveness. It is through a direct and own connection with Abba, Ama that humanity can transcend the suffering inherent in Yahweh's creation. The revelation of Abba, Ama is central to the message of Ang Tipan. It offers an alternative to the fear and judgment associated with Yahweh, replacing it with a message of hope, love, and spiritual awakening. This concept of a loving and compassionate God resonates deeply with the Filipino cultural emphasis on family and community, offering a comforting and relatable image of the divine. Ang Tipan teaches that the path to Abba Ama is not through rituals or sacrifices, but through cultivating inner spiritual knowledge and experiencing the divine directly. This emphasis on personal experience and spiritual awakening aligns with the text's Gnostic influences, emphasizing the importance of seeking knowledge and understanding beyond the confines of established dogma. Section 4, Beyond the Law, Ísu-Krestos and the New Treaty. TYPÁN presents Ísu-Krestos, the text's spelling of Jesus Christ, as the embodiment and revelation of Abba, Amma in the material world. Ísu-Krestos is not seen as a sacrifice to appease Yahweh's wrath, as in traditional Christian theology, but rather as a teacher, healer, and guide sent to liberate humanity from Yahweh's dominion and lead them towards the true God. Ísu-Krestos' teachings, particularly his emphasis on love, forgiveness, and compassion, are presented as a radical departure from the Old Testament law attributed to Yahweh. TYPÁN argues that Ísu-Krestos came to abolish the old covenant of fear and judgment, replacing it with a new covenant of love and grace. This new covenant is not based on external rules and rituals, but on an internal transformation of the heart and spirit. The miracles performed by Ísu-Krestos are not seen as supernatural interventions, but as demonstrations of the power of Abba, Amma's love, and the potential for spiritual healing available to all who embrace the true faith. Ísu-Krestos' death and resurrection are interpreted as symbolic events representing the triumph of spirit over matter, love over fear, and enlightenment over ignorance. By presenting Ísu-Krestos as the embodiment of Abba, Amma's love and wisdom, TYPÁN offers a path to salvation that is not based on blind faith or adherence to dogma, but on a personal relationship with the divine, cultivated through love, compassion, and the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. This emphasis on personal experience and spiritual growth reflects the text's Gnostic influences, which prioritize direct knowledge of the divine over institutionalized religion. Section 5. Empty Rituals. Challenging traditional practices. One of the most radical aspects of TYPÁN is its critique of traditional religious practices and institutions. The text argues that the elaborate rituals, ceremonies, and hierarchical structures of organized religion have become obstacles to true faith, obscuring the path to Abba, Amma, and perpetuating the dominion of Yahweh. TYPÁN criticizes the emphasis on outward displays of piety, such as attending religious services, participating in sacraments, and adhering to strict moral codes. The text argues that these practices, while potentially well-intentioned, can become empty rituals if they are not accompanied by a genuine inner transformation and a deepening relationship with Abba Amma. The text also challenges the authority of religious leaders who prioritize dogma and tradition over personal experience and spiritual understanding. TYPÁN heartens its readers to question blind faith and to seek direct knowledge of the divine through personal reflection, meditation, and the cultivation of inner wisdom. This critique of organized religion reflects the text's emphasis on individual spiritual seeking and its Gnostic influences. Like many Gnostic traditions, TYPÁN values personal experience and direct knowledge of the divine over institutionalized religion, which it views as potentially corrupt and limiting. This emphasis on individual spiritual autonomy empowers individuals to take control of their own spiritual journeys and to seek a direct and unmediated connection with Abba Amma.